classes of non-majors and topics type courses as well. But the one where I think there are some tools and things that are fun to talk about and that you might want to explore is my 400 level physiology course. That's a 4-credit hour lecture lab course. So it has a lecture component and a 2-hour lab on Fridays. And the lecture component is 75 minutes and it meets only for twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday. It's senior level. There are some juniors in there, but for the most part, senior level biology majors, and it's considered a capstone type of course. It's one of the few human courses that we have in the biology department, and where the human is the focus, not that our biology doesn't address humans, but that it has it in the title and that the students see the direct connection to where they're going. The students are incredibly motivated, highly competitive against one another. They are pre-professional students, so they are bound to go on to medicine, dentistry, optometry, physical therapy, and or graduate school to go on to research positions or faculty positions or industry. They're science majors, mostly biology, but others, and they have an amazing gift of memorization. It is scary what they can actually memorize. Since I don't possess that talent, and I don't actually value it. In fact, information world where you can obtain all your facts very quickly from your various electronic devices, I have this fear that I will be sitting across from one of my students in the future where they'll say, can you please rephrase that in the form of a multiple choice question as they try and differentiate the diagnosis for me. So I've structured the learning environment based upon those questions and thinking through what I want my students to look like as disciplinary thinkers and the disciplinary professional. And content and process that was brought up, so that there is both that you want to concern yourself with the content and the process that facilitates the learning of that content. And so team-based and case-based process for learning human physiology, organ system physiology, and the types of skills that are obtained in a team-based and case-based environment are problem solving, communication, and evidence-based reasoning. And so the students are in teams of 5. 5 is a magic number. Odd numbers are the best numbers for teams. 3, 5, 7. Even numbers become a problem when there is decision making that needs to occur. They split and they become paralyzed. As they pointed out, too big and you get the slacker lurker. Too small, they feel overwhelmed. So I find 5 is ideal. With respect to formation of the teams in this environment, it's a very homogeneous population, so that I randomly assign them and control only for gender, so that I don't leave one guy with 4 females, and so that they're distributed that way. They're distributed by their lab sections, but they come all together in a single lecture. In the other courses that I use team-based learning, in my non-majors, I take into account major, year of study. So even though they're taking a 100-level class, they're often seniors. My data shows that actually seniors in a lecture-based non-majors course do poorer with respect to overall grade, end of semester grade, than freshmen or sophomores, which you can interpret as they're seniors and they don't give anything, crap about the class, or you can interpret as we've done a pretty good job of teaching them how to think in the discipline, and now we want them to think like in my case, like a scientist, and they're having a hard time learning how to do that. In data that emerged from a study done last spring, seniors in a non-majors class in a team-based learning environment, there was no difference in their performance. There was no difference based on class rank. So team-based learning can level the playing field in a way that allows students to use each other as resources to understand the content. And so I'm pursuing that research. But for these purposes, they're again gender types of things they do: case study discussion in class, working on problems in their teams, sharing that with the team. We'll call on, with all the rest of the class, call on a team and ask them to share their insights. Laboratory, they work on exploring diagnostics and experimentation. They prepare lab reports and case study reports. So in my senior level class, they do a lot of teamwork outside of class. That is not true in the lower level courses. That just doesn't work. But this is part of helping them to figure out how to manage their time and how to work with other people's very busy schedules, and how to actually learn how to use technology to accomplish a lot of that too. So they do an electronic portfolio for their team, where they document all their strategies, and they share all their work. So every team can see the work of every other team. And they also reflect on things that are working and not working for their team, and other teams can see that, and they can go in and say, oh, Team 4, they decided that rock climbing was the central, having fun together was really an important part of their teamwork. And so maybe we should try having some fun together instead of sitting at the library all the time, being very frustrated with one another. Why don't we get to know each other? They may pick up on another strategy, but it gives them a chance to eavesdrop on the other teams. They take exams. They also take these as individuals, and then they take them as a team, so that everything that in the class is supporting the idea that your classmates are resources. And that discussion is going to help facilitate your understanding, and that exams are going to follow that form as well. They do an end of semester project where they they put together data on a topic from multiple sources, and the theme of that project varies from semester to semester, and we have last day of classes poster presentation. Time management in the class: mini lectures, team casework, whole casework. Each team does a grand rounds case, so they are responsible for leading a whole class where they present a case, and everybody else has read it, and then it's like they call it the Inquisition, but I think, and so we all kind of ask questions, and it gives a great opportunity for them to be the authority in the classroom. Peer review of the posters, so that they are reviewing the content of one another's work. And this is so that'll be occurring in class, and then exams that occur in class. Outside of class, they write reports together, they prepare for class exams, and they do a lot of evaluation and reflection. So that e-portfolio has reflection components to it, and the evaluation occurs after team and peer evaluation after every exam. And then I use a competency evaluation that is inherent to professional schools as a way of helping them evaluate each other's work. And then their inquiry projects. Things I hear from the students at the beginning of the semester. I'm more motivated than my group members. My group will hinder my ability to get the grade I want in this course. I have a better science background than my group members. My schedule's too busy to try to study with other people. I study much better on my own. So and I hear less of that now that over time people know what the class is about. But and so this is intended to try and help sway my decision to teach this way.
So these are early student narratives?
Yes, these occur in the first week. Often they come to my office hours and they want to tell me this, and so there's a line of them outside the office saying what. So the thing to note about them is they recognize their peers by face, and they even can tell you, oh, that person's super smart. They got the A in biochem, the only one. But they don't know their names. They don't know anything about them. And so that just speaks to the competitive nature. And that also tells you that by these types of comments and then my observations over time is they don't actually know how to work in a team. And that's a really important part of your scaffolding, is to help them figure out how to work in a team, to get that team identity. So my observation is that they don't necessarily know how to intellectually engage in focused, discipline-based discussion with small groups comprised of their peers. if you give them the opportunity to form a group, you know what they think the ideal group size is? 15. and so we know that they don't really understand what you're going to do in a group, right? So I like to drive what I'm going to do in the classroom by a question, by something I want to know, by changing, so that I've got some evidence at the end as to is this working or not working, and what might I tweak. So my